Welcome to another episode of Salt Shaker Conversations brought to you by the Jones Girl Inc. My name is Kiara Jones.
I am Crystal Jones Walton III.
Dr. Carmen Jones Harris.
Dr. Edna Jones Miller.
And Salt Shaker Conversations are conversations with the Jones Girl that empowers transparency, authenticity through meaningful conversations. And I think I said that backwards, but that's okay. Today we're going to be talking about, standards of beauty. What we have considered to be standards of beauty.
My question is, who gets to set that standard? But keep going.
I think you know what, and I think we should set our own standard for what what's in the. We're talking about societal standards.
Especially since
No.
you talk about
but
what
who's
makes you
we?
eligible for a man in the church. So I think somebody's setting some beauty standards somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess so.
okay.
But
I
what
guess
about
so.
the people that want to be free,
Want to be free.
All right.
that don't exercise self-care, all in the name of beauty?
What you mean by that? Give me an example.
If you stink, don't get your hair done because you want to be natural.
No.
Right? Because even no,
Wait a
I'm
minute, there's
saying
nothing
no.
wong with natural hair.
No, I think it's great. All of my
I do know
kids
what
have
she's talking
natural
about
hair.
because just because it's
Right,
natural don't
'cause
mean
it's
you ain't
natural
got
don't
to
mean you
comb
don't have to
it.
do
I
something
see.
with it.
Yeah, don't mean that you
no,
don't have
I'm
to do
in
anything
favor
with
of that.
it.
Get me right.
Like I'm on my own
Yes, I
natural
have-
journey.
yeah, 'cause I'm
I'm
too.
just saying there's a responsibility for everybody to be appropriate and acceptable even within these established beauty standards.
Okay.
Well, I get and that's to each his own. I like to, and even though I'm in beauty and fashion and things like that, and so I still have an issue trying to tell people what they should and should not wear. Like when it comes to what's in style and what's in style. Listen, because I'm gonna wear what I want to wear.
You know what? That's what I've come to realize. I don't care what's in style. As long as I'm decent and it fits, I'm fine. Like I don't.
Right, like I'm just saying,
I
I
care.
just have a personal,
I
like
care.
I can give suggestions, I can give recommendations,
But
but
you're complicated.
No,
You're
it sounds
complicated.
real good on the mic, but you know what you're thinking in your mind. They look a mess.
This is true.
Okay?
This is
So you
true.
set a standard in your mind that you are subconsciously judging people by, but you choose to be nice and not articulate.
so you're talking about what we're thinking in our mind.
Well, no, the beauty standards. Someone has set this standard.
Somebody.
Okay.
Somebody
So
determine
tell me,
what-
let's establish what the standard is. Can somebody establish
I think we
what
should
the
start with
standard?
you, 'cause I don't know.
Okay. Well, I believe.
What does the beauty world say?
Okay, so it's changed a bit in the past
Yes,
couple of
I
years
believe that.
because they have been more inclusive when it comes to skin tones and depths and things like that. And so, beauty companies are starting to realize that you do have people with darker, richer tones that you need to make sure that you take care of, and we're not always catering to a more Eurocentric point of view. So those things have changed in the past couple of years. One of the other things that I've noticed, like even in the rise of the need for modified bodies. And not that hey, listen, if you're going to do your thing, do your thing. It's whatever. But the pressure that a lot of people feel, when they are in these industries or around certain people, that they feel like they have to look a certain way. If my waist isn't a 24 and then my butt hip is not a 46, like that whole measurement thing, I'm not going to lure the attention that I need. Some people say, I get it for my own, self-worth, but sometimes I be like, I don't know if you're doing it for your own self-worth or whether or not you're doing it to lure. I don't know. So it's like you kind of put yourself in these precarious situations when you're laying on tables and getting it done. And I'm not again. Listen, if you're gonna get your stuff done, go on, do your thing if that's what you want to do. But I don't want you to do it because you feel like if I don't do this, I won't fit into a specific mold of what people think beautiful is. Now, should you take care of yourself? Yes. Should you comb your hair? Yes. Brush your teeth? Yes. Put on some lotion? Yes, there's something, because I've talked to people I was talking, to a young lady, and of course I would never say this, because I feel like that's mean to say. I would not say it because I think it's mean. But, she was kind of expressing her desire to be, in a relationship and things of that nature.
Get to the point.
I'm just real sensitive. I don't want to hurt nobody. To where, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, but sweetie, like you're new growth. You're sweetie, like, and I'm just like, baby, what you because and you're not showing the actual desire. You're not expressing the actual desire for you to have somebody, because ain't no man coming up like look like your teeth ain't been clean. Like you got a lot going on that you really help.
The beauty standard should be self-care.
Okay.
That should be the beauty standard. Like, we know people are different sizes,
Right.
right? And
Like,
so
yeah, I'm
if
good
people
at it.
talk about, this person is plus size. I mean, I know more plus size people that are in better shape than somebody
Absolutely.
that's small. So
Absolutely.
it's really about the care and advocating for yourself to be
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Should be the standard of beauty.
Yes.
Because you got the different hair textures, different, it's just so many different things. And I honestly think the world has responded well to the differences. Even in the workplace, where there were conversations about what's professional hair.
Yes.
The
I-
crowning.
I-
So it's like that's the things that the
The
progressions that we
yeah,
made.
I'm an
okay?
elementary school principal, and to think of this hair as acceptable in a school, there was a time when I knew I had to wear like a
Straight
perm,
hair,
straight
yeah.
hair, like to have a more traditional look. So I think the world has evolved, but in no
It's
way
evolving.
evolving. But I don't think it would be appropriate for me to let it mat up and be tangled in the back
In the
and
name
then
of nature.
coming into people's jobs and mad when they want to call me in the office. Right? So I think there's a standard.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there's a very popular singer who is plus size and has taken the liberty to express her comfort level, with
body.
exposure of her body, right? So there are
Not
conversations.
that we agree with the exposure.
Right.
However,
But
with
just
the exposure.
idea
yeah,
of
the idea of
diversity
being comfortable.
And confident.
Yes,
And as
she's a pretty girl.
in the spirit of exposure, now I do say this: when you expose yourself, because this is something to think about, really, just as a person, male or female, when you expose yourself, particularly publicly, with ideas and beliefs that you share, you open yourself up for comments.
That's true.
So you can't get upset when someone's, you post this picture and you say, y'all look at my new locks, and somebody say, oh, that look peasy. In a long time. Or that color doesn't work on you.
Right.
And then we want to cancel for no, because the moment we push to expose and we're creating this space, it should also equally allow the space for people to give feedback and critique. That's just the hard part.
Well,
about
since
reality.
we critiquing the man weave, your thoughts? Anybody?
First of all, what y'all not gonna do
Well, I'm just saying.
is talk about a man that get a man weave.
Listen.
Because here's my thing.
This is-
As long as, like, if he's a male, identifying as a male,
Which one
Got
is
it.
the wet one?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Think
saying.
about that as you're saying
You're
it.
saying all that.
As you're
Do
saying
you
it,
want
would
your
you want
man
your husband to wear
to
one?
wear a man weave?
Let's stop there.
Take a moment.
Come on,
Take a
let's
moment.
go.
We're making room. Wait, we're making room. Take your moment.
Because you get ready to defend.
I'm gonna say
Because if you
this.
come home and he got something plucked on his eye, don't you come home, he gonna get talked
Some
about.
of the
real
men,
bad by us.
some of those man weaves look really good.
Okay.
The ones that I've seen,
Yeah.
if we didn't see the before picture, we would have no
That's true.
idea.
I've seen
Okay.
some on
So
Instagram.
if it is done well, and let's say, and for those of you out there that are watching, my husband has a bald head. If he decided he wanted a high top fade,
Like Carl Winslow. Carl Winslow. The Carl Winslow.
inspired by, we started watching Bel Air, and he wants to look like the Will Smith character. If he wants to, and it's neat and tapered, I would have no problem with it.
Girl, you know them things lift when they get hot.
But I'm saying, I mean, a good adhesive.
Okay.
But definitely, I don't, because to me, it's not like it looks like a weave.
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you. Okay,
No,
so
let
we
him
were
get
out of
his
town
best
one
friend.
time.
Let him get his best friend.
So we were out of town, and I ain't gonna say no names, but we was out of town, and we were at this particular venue for a concert. And the person who was hosting the concert had come in and had some changes to his physical body that was like very apparent to us because we had not seen him in a while.
It was uneven though.
No, wait. So he had a piece put up top, and it looked as if the barber was attempting to fade it on the side, right? Wait a minute.
I'm not.
And so I remember the singer who was scheduled to perform was standing on the stage. So the person who was hosting the concert is standing on the lower part. Mm-hmm. And so I'm noticing the artist is up from prayer, like looking, like trying to look and see, well, what's happening with this man? And I said, as much money as I know this man got.
Excuse me.
I know good and well we can find somebody to taper that thing.
That's what I'm
smoother than
saying.
that. Because it was literally like not. It was just not.
If it's not tapered well, but these
Yeah.
new man weaves.
Yeah, we don't see.
I mean, if you don't know these people,
Yeah.
and it takes years off of their life.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand why it's okay for a woman to wear a weave and talk about it publicly and wear it publicly.
don't think it's
then it's an issue for a man. It's
Yeah, I
almost
guess
like the
that's
only
true.
option
I
they
mean,
have
No.
is to go
No,
bald.
but wait, in context, the reason why we keep like laughing is because when we say man weaves, our first reference is Family Matters Carl Winslow. It is not, yes, it is not the Instagram barbers who are promoting the thing, because obviously it's dope. Like you see it, they're very attractive, but I feel like even that's like, sway, because they're not putting the ugly dude up there with the man weave. They putting that good looking guy who they probably I know. I've never seen like an ugly guy.
They have like, what do you call
Well,
it? When
there's
a man
nobody
ball up
ugly.
here.
No, but I'm saying, but
Where
the
you know
standard
where
of
the man is
right.
ball up here,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
got hair around the side.
And they put
Yeah.
the piece
And
up and they
I've
fade
seen it, but it takes years off of their life. Because I think we could put.
What do you mean, Mike? It takes years off.
Off
No,
of their
I mean,
age,
off
not
of
their
their
life,
age.
off of their
I
age,
didn't
they
mean
look
that. I'm
young.
sorry.
Okay, got
It
it.
makes them look younger. Because I think about sometimes it's hard, particularly for African American females, to tell how old they are. Because if they get a black wig on or like something that's jet black, you almost have to stare and go like, oh, okay. And then they'll say, well, I'm 85. Wow. Because look at this hair.
Okay.
Right?
I can
Like,
see
so
that.
I think men have the same right to that access. It's
everybody
not
has
like
the
they're
right,
wearing,
yeah.
well, I mean, like it should be a part of these beauty standards.
Well, you hear
Because-
that, Pastor Chris? Your desire for that high top fade can come on through it.
Go for it.
Go for it, bro.
I would not have an issue.
Go
Because
for
if
it,
it's
bro.
tapered, I think it's a harder transition for men. Because if we already know you bald headed.
Yeah.
Everybody
And then you
knows
just walk
this
in.
ain't your hair. You know? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows this ain't your hair. You
That's
gotta
the
be.
same for women, you know.
But I think it's okay
no,
for
no.
us.
You're talking about everybody should have the same access, but I'm just saying it's the same for women. A person who is wearing curly hair today, and then next week you're gonna come with long braids, and the next time.
But
you're
it's
gonna come-
normal
you
for
know what I'm
us
saying?
with beauty standards.
But I'm agreeing with you in saying everybody. I understand what you mean by
Yeah.
everybody should have the same
So
access.
when-
I don't think that's the standard of beauty, but I understand what you're
Yes.
saying.
So when the men get pec implants,
I'm sorry.
you ever heard? You've heard of the pec implants? You ain't never heard of pec implants? Yes, girl, pec implants. Like, so you know how women get breast pec, like
At the
pecs,
pecs.
chest. So
Really?
yes, that's a thing. They and
Why?
a lot of yes, but just like women get
Yeah, they
breast
gonna have to get the
augmentation,
abdomen, yeah.
they have to get. And they can go in and get peg implants. Look it up. Yes, it's a thing that they can actually go and get their chest defined and things put into it to make them look like they have.
to do the rest of it going down.
So that's why I was like, for those of us who are trying to avoid jumping into the dating pool because it got pee in it, I don't want to say that no more. But you don't even know who body parts real or not. You got to ask certain questions like, okay, were you born a biological male? Or, with all of the things that people can do to kind of augment, take away, or whatever. And so it's kind of scary in these pieces.
What recommendations do we have to address those pressures that's driving those decisions?
Now, my thing is learning. We talked about it in another episode, really learning who you are and really liking who you are, where you are now. And even if you want to make improvements, you're coming from a more healthy place when you understand who you are and the place that you are in right now, and you learn how to celebrate where you are. When people learn how to celebrate themselves where they are, they will have less of a temptation to go out and do like crazy augmentation. So you see how people go in and they have like $300,000 worth of plastic surgery. The young lady that just passed away, she's a Kim Kardashian lookalike, spent a whole lot of money and had a lot of surgeries to achieve that look. But the driving force, I guarantee you, unfortunately she's passed, so you can't ask her, but the driving force was not confidence. As much as people like to assume or make that statement, to each his own, we do that and we free and we do that and this and then we got all this, and fine, you're free to do whatever it is that you want to do, but your driving force for doing that, what is it? And you need to be able to answer that question with a clear conscience, not under the illusion that you're going to catch whatever it is that you're chasing.
Right.
Because that's why it's like a never ending stream. Because once you fix the nose and all that stuff, you got to go and get something else, and it never, and then they end up looking like little monsters. Some people do. For real. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, just not real. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I ain't trying to call you no monster here. I'm sorry. Don't write me no letters here. I'm sorry. You know, the doctor did the best he could. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But I do have a question, and I guess this would be more to Crystal. Crystal, isn't there a mental health component that they must, like a mental aptitude component before they have these types of procedures done?
Yes and no. So some cosmetic stuff is medical. So it's like a deviated septum on your nose. Right. So people get nose jobs for that sometimes. And then some people get, breast augmentations from cancer. Right. So, those are processes that you have to go through certain evaluations. Usually when it's cosmetic, because it's such big business and people just want the money and people just want the procedure, no. But I think so much of the standards, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. so much of the standards of beauty are external, and they put these things out with marketing and all of that stuff to make you want to look like them to buy their product.
Yes.
And it's all about money. We were talking about that over lunch. Like it's about money. And if we're not cognizant of who we are and love who we are, it's like you're going to keep falling for the next trend. And so the trend is now going from the more voluptuous, according to what I've heard, to the more like cocaine skinny. It's like, so you're going to start taking insulin now because you want to be cocaine skinny. Yeah. And so it's like you're going to forever be chasing this look or this trend or this narrative, and you're not going to find happiness and wholeness in any of it.
Because I heard a doctor say the other day, he was just like, he doesn't do BBLs because their business is going down. Because he was just like, it's going out of style. That trend is fading. So now, like I told you, now you have the people who, are diabetics, not able to get their medicine because people are being prescribed diabetic medication for a huge weight loss.
Because in essence, you're chasing a win.
Right. It's
never
always
not
something.
going to start moving. It's going to keep moving.
Yeah.
If you look at those fashion montages, right? The 20s and the 40s and the 50s, they all have different body types, different trends, different colors. And it's like, if you spend every decade of your life, because on a healthy day, you only get 7, right, nowadays.
Right.
So if you try to keep up with that, your poor heart
Yep.
and your body is not going to be able to weather that.
Right.
So it's just like, find a happy medium for yourself. Love yourself. You are God's masterpiece. Don't fall for the media hype because it will always change. That's why it's called trends. And so these trends, I think when I was growing up, it was the more of the tomboyish with like TLC and all those kind of groups. And like that was the trend. And everybody could wear it.
Yep.
Like it was low cost because it was like pajamas kind of thing. So it's just like that was the perfect trend. It lasted, I think, throughout the 90s and some of the early 2000s. So it's like, okay, then after that, what you gonna do with all these clothes? Because now you're chasing the next fad. And it's like, yeah.
And I think it's a little random. But Kiki, how does the fashion world, or who in the fashion world establishes what the trend is? Part of the reason why I asked is because John was looking at a video yesterday and he was like, babe, is this fashion? So it's a person who was wearing all black, and it looked like they were wearing, maybe they had spray painted a fire rescue uniform of a firefighter, and the outfit was on fire. And he's like walking down this runway, and the outfit was on fire.
Like
And so-
for real on fire.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
that's production.
and so I'm like, I send that to Kiki because I don't know if that's So
That
my
has more
question
to
for
do with
you
the
is,
storytelling element, but okay.
but that's my question. Like, who sets the trend? How does it happen? And then how is it that you can get an entire culture to see that as
Okay.
the thing?
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Devil Wears Prada. Have you ever seen the movie? There is a scene in that movie where she explains exactly that. And it's true. It's literally true. So in the scene, she's getting ready for a fitting. This is the editor-in-chief of Runway magazine.
This is Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep's character. She's getting ready to do a run through for a photo shoot. And so they're coming in and everybody's kind of moving. And so Andy, the assistant, the new girl who's really not into fashion or whatever, she comes in, so she's observing what's happening. So the girl holds up 2 belts, same color. Blue, same color. The only difference was like the buckles were different. And so she holds them up as an option for whatever Meryl Streep's character was styling. And she says, I don't know, they're so different. And then the girl starts to laugh, like giggle. So Meryl Streep turns around and like Miranda Priestly turns around like what's so funny? And she was just like, oh, I'm still learning about this stuff. And she said, oh, so you think that you're exempt from, or you are above what's happening in this room right now. She say that little clumpy sweater that you got on, that little blue. She said, so she pretty much read it for filth. But she said that color came from this collection in this year. And she's really the person who approves of everybody's line, which is in real life Anna Wintour. She approves of everybody's line. So it's gonna be zippers and camouflage for blah 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 blah. So she comes in, she looks at the collection, she say, okay, well, no, I don't like that. Like whatever. And so she said, as they show it on the runway, you got all the celebrities and all the people grabbing for the big trend, and then you got the smaller companies doing the knockoffs of that trend, and then it goes down and down and down, like that, and then it ends up. And then she said it ends up in the bargain basement where you got that clumpy sweater from the people that chose it for you in this room. So that's what she was. That's kind of like how the trends go. They'll set whatever it's going to be for the next however many years, 3 years or so, and say this is a fashion calendar. This is how we're gonna. This is what the trend, and this is what we're gonna feed. So people can go in and be like, okay, because now, you know how skinny jeans, the tapered jeans were the thing a couple of years ago. You can't wear them now. It's the wide leg now. Wide leg ripped jeans, high waisted wide leg jeans. That's the trend.
Let me just say, I just wear what I want now.
Right, but I'm saying you can wear what you want. I don't
You
tell.
found your standard of beauty.
Right, and that's
You're like,
okay.
this is my standard. This is what I like. This is what makes me feel good.
I
And
like
you
that.
rock out in your lane. And I think if more people do that,
And then you gotta know too, like as much as I love fashion, fashion.
My
She like her A-line
skirt.
skirt.
Me too.
A-lines work for
Me
people,
too.
but
Yes.
like I like fashion. I follow trends and things like that. But there are certain trends that I know with my body shape and type, I don't get in. I just can't do that.
So am I wrong if I embrace something that's not good for my body type as my standard of beauty?
Listen,
I have the right
you
to get my man weave.
All right.
You got
And
the right.
embrace.
You have
the
human
right.
rights.
I'm gonna tell you what I
Will
told
you
you.
call me beautiful? I just wanna know.
Lay back. We will call you something.
Let me tell you something.
For sure.
Like I'm gonna use this scripture and be real deep with it. Paul said, "All things are lawful,
Yes, he did.
but not all things are expedient." So it might not be wise
Right.
for you to participate in the halter trend.
Just because it comes
Just
in your
because it
size.
comes in your size and it
Yeah.
get a little extra stretch.
Yeah.
You may want to go and pass that one by, But some people feel, comfortable. So I don't like to tell folks what they need to put on. Now, will I probably let? Yeah, I'll probably let Mama keep going. Mama let you do you. I'm not gonna make a spectacle out of what it is that you decided to do.
So are you saying the standard of beauty is really the standard you set for yourself?
That's
that you're
really
okay
it.
with?
That's really it.
Because
That's
if
really
you
it.
rely on fashion and the whole conglomerate of the industry, you'll be chasing the wind
all the time.
all the time.
And even though and my thing
So
again,
Yeah, certain trends I love.
Bargain basement sweater.
If that's what you
Which
want
is
to
where I
wear,
find myself often in that bargain basement.
go for it.
And that's
Is
what you
acceptable.
want. But I think in that context, people have to always know that they because I do fashion storytelling, and so a lot of times people like to minimize it as something that is cavalier and just like, oh, that's really not something. No, it's a big industry. It's a huge tell on what you think about yourself, because when I can look at somebody and I just be like, Lord, you didn't even try. Did you try? You know what I'm saying? And so that lets me know. And I'm not saying. That's why I figured you would say. And I get on YouTube because, I'm like, you're just a pretty girl. You just got to
Whenever someone starts with, you're so pretty.
you're just so pretty. You just got to do better, But it's a tell for me when I do fashion storytelling to say, hey, I want the story of what people see when they see me to align with what it is that I want to put out there. So if you want to be seen a certain way, and you want to wear your halter and your and then, but I want the respect from no, because that's not the story you told.
That's a good point.
Not that anybody got the right to put their hands on you and all that stuff. No, nobody has the right to do that. But when people's perceptions are a certain way, it is what it is because that's the story you
see
decided to tell.
fashion and what we wear as a story.
It
that
is
we are
a story.
telling
It is
for
a
other
story.
people to interpret who
Yes.
we are.
And it's interpreted
I
based
got you.
on the standard of beauty. Because it's measured up against the standard of beauty.
Like for example,
Yeah.
and I don't even think I'm measuring myself against some type of standard of beauty. When I just went to Paris, I had a speaking engagement, right? And so I had something already picked out, but my feet were hurting. I was like, man, I'm wearing sneakers. I just threw on something and just let me get out of here because I gotta go. When I got there, Crystal was mad. She was like, girl, what is you wearing? Where are your clothes, right? Because she understands the standard
That
of how
you
I
have set for yourself.
Yes, she like looking at me
Yeah.
like, and it wasn't like the outfit was bad. It
just
just
wasn't
wasn't to my standard.
Yeah.
So she looking at me like, Kiki, what in the world are you wearing? And I was like, man, I had like 5 minutes to change. I had to hurry up and get here. I just had to throw something on and get out. And I'm talking about, I'm speaking.
So the standard, because we're still looking at that standard. The standard of beauty is it yourself. And really quickly, because I know we're getting down to the final minute, but there's an NBA player who is in the playoffs right now. And they panned the audience to his wife, and you know what NBA wives look like. Well, she had on a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt, had her hair pulled back in a ponytail, like, hair kind of disheveled, holding the baby on the hip, screaming and telling him to go. Like, good job. She looked like she had rolled out of bed, like legitimately rolled out of bed. I mean, she didn't look not crusting out.
Okay, but just
rolled out of bed. So I look at that and say, where's the standard?
That
Maybe
And
she
I know you
said
can't
Earl.
answer. Maybe.
She
I
said
don't know,
Earl.
but you know.
But in
but I know
that,
you-
in that regard, I would, because I don't want people. We only got 30 seconds.
Okay,
Go
I
ahead.
would want to say one standard everyone should have is to be neat. Well, two, neat and clean.
Yeah.
I think that is the first standard. That's foundational.
Well groomed.
Yes,
Yeah, well
yes,
groomed.
yeah, neat and clean. And
Yeah.
so I think that's two beauty standards that I think everyone across the board should have.
All right. Well, that's all we got for today, guys. That is it for this episode of Salt Shaker Conversations. We will see you guys next time. Bye.